Asset Protocol Foundation based out of Singapore. And the main purpose of the UDAP Foundation is to help build a community and support for a concept and an idea that we have around tokenizing anything and everything. That really is the focus of this particular project, and what we are working on and what we're currently doing is focusing on the fact that any asset, anything of value, can be tokenized. And I'll talk to you about the ways we see that happening. I also have with me Bing Ren, who's the chairman, the chief executive officer of the UDAP organization, and he traveled here all the way from Shanghai. I was a little bit closer out of Georgia. So we're glad to have you join us. And what is UDAP summarize? Well, UDAP, the Universal Decentralized Asset Protocol, is a middleware platform protocol, and the overall design of UDAP is really to simplify that interface for developers. As we know, blockchain can sometimes be pretty complex, especially for developers. Well, UDAP's intent is to create a protocol interface so that developers can access or build applications on top of the chain using the UDAP protocol. And that simplifies things, and I'll talk a little bit further about how it simplifies. But the construct is that minimal blockchain knowledge is required when using UDAP. Also, there's no blockchain lock-in. It's built on Ethereum. It focuses on asset lifecycle management. So, in the words of Emily Dickinson, I like to use a quote from Emily Dickinson, and that quote is, "I dwell in possibility." So when you think about assets, when you think about value, any digital record, any asset, whether it's clothing, whether it's music, records, whether it's videos, and entertainment, whatever asset has value that may require a digital record can be tokenized. And that's why we theme UDAP around tokenizing anything and everything, because anything that requires a record can be tokenized. Whether it's a piece of luggage, whether it's this projector, whether, again, it's a pair of shoes, whatever can be tokenized. You can add a token to it. Please come in, gentlemen. So UDAP focuses around that. We are currently in the private sale stage, and we plan on our MVP being released in the September timeframe. So the development team is hard at work doing that. The first project will focus around music and entertainment, and we're making great progress on that already. So let's talk about possibility, and let's think about what's possible. What can we use UDAP for? How can we leverage it? I have a couple of use cases. This is a use case. This handsome young man is sitting right here in front of you, in fact, Bing. Bing travels a lot. He's about to catch a flight in a couple of hours to Saigon, in fact. But use case one involves travel documents. So we can tokenize things such as your diploma, your passport, your visa, etc. You can tokenize all those types of things and place those tokens in a wallet so that when you travel, you don't have to travel with all those various documents. You have them in your asset wallet, and you carry them with you. And this is actually something that we're looking to do. So we have our ID, our passport, and our driver's license for US-based individuals, all in a digital wallet, a UDAP wallet. That's use case one, so travel document, personal information. Use case two talks about carrying your tickets. So for airlines, you can tokenize the airline ticket process, baggage, all those types of things. So here you have your flight ticket, your hotel voucher, car rental. You can tokenize all those things, place that in a wallet, and just carry it with you in a simplified, secure manner. Go out to it. Use case two. Again, we're still sticking with the use case two. That UDAP for all of the travel tokens you can place right here in your wallet. So you have your car rental, your airline ticket, also your travel documents, passports, everything in one place. Tokenizing everything and anything. Now, use case three focuses on a promissory note. So you're traveling, and basically I'm going to meet a friend of mine in London on Sunday. In fact, I could in advance say, I'm traveling to London, would like to meet with you for lunch. Here's my commitment that when I get to London, this is my commitment that I'm going to meet you at this restaurant for lunch. You can even tokenize that promise or that commitment. Use case 4, again, a promissory note. I have an investor that's just given me $1 million as a way to thank them for that $1 million and my commitment that I will give them 1% of interest back by 2020. I commit that via this wallet. So I guarantee I will now give you this amount back in return for the investment that you've given me as well. Attaching a token to that so that we both agree, and you tokenize that as well. 5, so because they were so kind to me, I'm going to send them a beer coin that I created to thank them for the loan and to kind of just say, I really appreciate it. And it's a simple token or way you can mint your own coins and then thank them as you go forward with regard to their commitment to our project. Use case 6. So we go to lunch and dinner. After dinner, I want to use a coupon that I was sent via some application that whether it's Groupon or another application that has used and has sent me the coupon. So in order to save, I can tokenize that particular coupon and apply it to my bill at the end of the lunch or dinner. Use case 7. Unfortunately, our CEO got ill and has to go to the hospital, and he or she is in a different city, a different place. Well, you can tokenize your medical records. If we think about that, if we go to a place, a foreign place, having your medical records with you in your phone, it could be a life-saving proposition when we think about it. So if you have all those records with you when you check into the hospital, or if you're seeing a doctor that you've never seen, being able to tokenize those records could really translate into a very important value proposition for you as you travel. So we're looking at that as an application for hospitals or medical offices where they can tokenize all of the records of all their patients through the UDAP process, of course, and linking that application with those particular customers. You can, of course, carry all of your personal information and records in a secure way using the UDAP protocol. Use case 8, my last use case actually. So, memberships. You may belong to a country club. You may belong to a gym or something of that nature. You can carry that gym membership with you as proof that I belong to LA Fitness or to Crunch Fitness, whichever fitness organizations are in this case, it's Well-These, which is an Asian-based fitness organization. You can carry all of that membership information. You may have airline clubs that you're part of, those types of things. You can carry, again, that information with you as part of our view of tokenizing everything. So how do we do this? Today, the current state of the token economy is you have apps that sit up on top of the chain. What we see and the value that we feel UDAP will provide is to provide that protocol in the middle between the apps and the chain and simplify the whole process of building and developing applications. So it's a middleware program protocol that sits between applications, any application, whatever it may be, on top of a chain. And right now, as we said, we're using Ethereum as part of our development efforts. Just to go into more detail, you see here, third-party applications that are potential use cases for UDAP include ticketing, debt, asset management, artworks. So the Dazzle show in Miami in December, possibly some of those artworks, each piece of art can be tokenized and signed and numbered and attached so that it's secure and you avoid forgeries because you have it using the chain. Antiques, game points, vouchers, hotel bed nights, event tickets, all of those things can be tokenized. And our API, the protocol that we call it, allows you to identify that particular asset, to tokenize it, to transfer it, to rent it, to lease it or lend it, to exchange it, to pledge or sell, auction. Any number of things can be done using this particular protocol. And the additional asset that we use is placed in a wallet. So as part of the project, we are creating an asset-based wallet because we believe that the the real revolution is now we're in this age of the Internet of Things. Well, we're also moving to that age where it's the Internet of Assets. And we think that's one of the revolutionary constructs that's coming forward in the future. The asset wallet is, again, a programmable experience where you have those built-in tools that allow applets to be embedded as wallet extensions. So all of this will be carried on your phone in organized folders that you can use and access as required and as you need. So it's a pluggable universal asset wallet. So that's why UDAP is designed to support developers on that back end and to support consumers using the asset wallet on the front end. Now, our roadmap. UDAP, the project was started in 2017 with kickoffs around the September timeframe. So the research team was organized, they brainstormed the construct and really said, what problem can we solve? How can we differentiate ourselves as a project? And that brainstorming occurred. White paper was issued at the beginning of 2018 and published. It is located at UDAP.io, the white paper there. It is available in both English and Mandarin for those of you who want to access that. The private sale started also during the first quarter time frame, and we have been moving around Asia as well as starting now in the US. We also have been going around Europe to talk about UDAP in this particular project. As I mentioned earlier, the foundation itself was established during the second quarter, and we are looking to MVP in the fourth quarter around the September-October time frame. We look to MVP with the first use case focusing around the music and entertainment business, where we'll tokenize records, videos, and some other things and place those and make those available in a wallet. The foundation board consists of Bing Rand, who is here with us today. He is the co-founder and CEO. Jean Lee, who's co-founder and chief information officer. Frank Yee, who's the chief, he's the founder and the chief operations officer, and myself as the chairman of the foundation. That is the power, the possibility, the promise of the Universal Decentralized Asset Protocol. And we truly are looking forward to one day tokenizing everything. Any questions?